rêvais d'un monde nouveau, sans excès cette fois, plutôt plus court.
Welcome back to episode 45 of Monday Diaries, which is where I build in public and distill all of my lessons into these weekly videos. I'm coming at you live from our Noosa Founder Residency, where we've got 10 of our Art of Mondays members living here, working online, training, playing, all of the good stuff together. Let's get into it. All right, we are in the yoga studio thing, which also happens to be my room in the back. And the reason I have different shorts on is because it's actually the next day. All the footage from yesterday was unusable because the bugs were so loud in the background that you couldn't hear my voice. So I'm going to rerun everything that I spoke about yesterday and get it down in under 10 minutes right here. Let's do it. Honest update. I am feeling definitely not 100%. I think I got a head cold after flying on the red eye a few days back and getting no sleep whatsoever. A story for another day, but it's funny, you want everything until you lose your health, and then you just want one thing, and that is to feel great again. So a friendly reminder for me recently, and just happened to coincide with coming here and being a part of this for the first few days. And there's been a lot of activities and adventures, and which have all also been really great. So maybe a good distraction for me, but also really like emotionally vulnerable as well. And I'll probably talk more about this in a future episode when I recap this whole 10 days that we have here with 10 guys, 10 of our members, and go into it in more depth. But the short version of the story is a couple of days ago, I was sitting there crying my eyes out in front of the 9 other guys. And so were many other people in the group. And that's unique. It doesn't happen on, on all of these residencies, but there are a few things that we did differently this time. And it was pretty special. So yeah, I'll share more about that. But it was the first time I cried in probably, actually I can't even remember the last time. And if you'd asked me before, I would have said the closest I got was during like a sports movie or something, when the classic hero's journey where the underdog makes it in the end. That's about as close as I get. So anyway, more on that later. But last week I talked about this thing called the freedom paradox, which is this odd dissatisfaction that I get when I have a lot of freedom. And by freedom, I mean choice. Like when there are so many options available to choose or decide on, that it makes it really hard to decide. And it sounds like a very privileged thing, probably because it is, but also something that's just not spoken about. And so as a part of that, my intention for being here for this week is to make a lot of big life decisions and get clarity on those things and action them. So I'm very much in that process, which I'll talk more about. Well, like day 4 or day 5 now. Obviously should have filmed this on a Monday. I know it's Thursday now, so I'm doing a terrible job. This is the first time I've ever not filmed by Monday. I've definitely not posted it on Monday. Like the editing took time sometimes, but I've never not filmed by Monday, so I feel like a bit of a failure in that sense, but also a big learning there, which I'll get to in a sec. But yeah, moving out of my apartment back home in WA at the end of Jan, just made that decision and going to be not tied to Australia, not tied to anything in particular from that point onwards. And so this week is really about getting clarity on what's happening next year, and more than anything, just deciding and being okay with those plans and not having this FOMO of like too much choice. Okay, now for the big idea of this video, which ties into me failing. Like I said before, there were really 3 reasons why I started this YouTube channel. The first is to document my journey and look back on it in years to come. The second was to build really genuine trust with people that want to learn more about me and what I'm working on. You know, I've got 150,000 people on Instagram that I felt like didn't really know the true me. So these videos are a much better opportunity to share that. And third, of course, to be able to grow the things that I'm working on and create leads and customers for those, and give value as an exchange. So, that having enough reasons gives it longevity. It allows me to get back up and do it again week after week. I'm week 45 now. It's probably the longest time I've consistently stuck with one thing, especially YouTube or content in this way. And but in saying that, YouTube just happened to be a channel that I continued with because I saw the benefit and it made sense. But I've started other things like my weekly newsletter. I started that probably 12 or 13 weeks ago. I got through 9 or 10 weeks in a row, and then I haven't put anything out for the last 4. And that also feels like a failure. But for me, I treat these things as an experiment. and I allow myself to do it for 5, 6, 10 times, whatever, choose the number that suits you. Not, I have to commit to this for the rest of the year or my life or whatever. And that subtle shift just allows you to start more things and ultimately do more things. And when they don't serve you for a period of time, it's okay to stop doing them. I'm transparent about it right now. In theory, I'm letting people down by not posting my newsletter, but I just felt like I was writing about things that, maybe were interesting to some people, but they weren't interesting to me. They were a little bit too fluffy and not deep enough and impactful enough. And so I stopped until I have those pieces, and I will send more in the future. There's no doubt about it. If you want to subscribe, check out the link in my bio and read for free. But yeah, I want to be transparent about that, because this idea of treating it as an experiment has really helped me start things, and it's great for people that find it hard to start and stick to something. The easiest way to read a book is not to read 10 pages a day, it's to read the first sentence. And I can almost guarantee you read the first sentence, you go to the effort of getting your book and reading the first sentence, you're probably going to read on from that. Maybe it's a page, maybe it's 10 pages, maybe it's 100 pages. But that smaller action allowed the whole thing to happen. And that's kind of how I see starting anything new. And then also in that process, getting rid of the shit that doesn't serve you, because for people that care about self-development and self-improvement, you're probably adding supplements and new routines and regimes and all sorts of new stuff into your life. You got to let shit go out the back end. Like if you had an e-commerce brand and you had 10 products and one of them just didn't sell, you're not going to reorder that product and keep selling it, are you? Because it's not interesting. It doesn't add enough to your life. Okay, now for business updates. Art of Mondays first. We have had 386 applications for membership as of Monday when I wrote these notes. That's up 25 from the week before. We had accepted 56 at the time. It's more now. 27 years old is the average age of the members, and they're all lifestyle founders. So that puts us at over 200K in revenue since we launched the membership. Founder Sports Club is a newer product that we launched only a few months ago, and that has 714 active members, which is up 57 from last week, and over 5K a month in recurring revenue. Personal brand growth stats. I'm at 7,804 subs on YouTube. That's up 67. I'm at 147.1 on Instagram. That's down 600. I'm at 330.3K on TikTok. That's down 122. All of which is nothing special, to be honest, and in some sense like disheartening, because I still show up every week and I still put this video out. But what I've found YouTube is a bank of content to binge when someone does come across my stuff or our stuff. And there's so much trust to be built in that process. It doesn't actually matter day to day if I'm getting views. There's I could get no views for 100 videos, and then my 101st is someone really meaningful sees that and they build a lot of trust and they understand who I am, and that is still worthwhile. So for anyone out there trying to give content a crack, try to see it in that perspective. However, the Art of Mondays Instagram continues to fly. That's at 11,252, which is up 1,120 from last week. That's our biggest week ever, and I think it'll continue probably at a similar stage, 1,000 to 1,500 a week. Yeah, there's so much I need to do with that. So much content from our founder residencies. We filmed several YouTube videos as well. Our content guy Rumi is working on those. So much coming. I've been a bit slack on that, but just keep my head above water. But yeah, something to ponder is that I poorly prepared for this video, clearly, and I don't have anything to ponder. So off the cuff is, when was the last time that you cried openly to yourself or to someone else? Because I know it's been a very long time for me until recently, and especially for guys, we're brought up in this culture of not showing emotions, so something to think about. If you haven't for a long time, why not? Free stuff and my socials are all linked in the bio, and I will see you in the next one.